We have a new story here about Gicarri Harris's emergence this summer. It is the one and only Brian Newbert from on3.com, Gold and Black, Purdue site that has been leading the charge of all of the optimism around Gicarri all month, I would say. I don't really think it surfaced until about a month ago. There were good rumblings from all around, but really in the last month, it's felt like a serious push from Brian that is intel driven because we know Brian covers this team in person and talks to the coaching staff. Felt like Brian is trying to say, this is our starting shooting guard. He's won the spot. He's emerged. That's me paraphrasing a lot of his work, but I think it's fair. I've also referred to Brian as my GOAT all summer. Purdue fans in our Discord have affectionately asked me to stop doing that, not because they don't love Brian Newbert, but because they think I'm being sarcastic and snarky, and it's not being received the right way. So I will respectfully honor their ask here. No longer gonna sarcastically call Brian Newbert my goat, but on a serious note, Brian Newbert does fantastic work. And we're here to talk about another report from Newbert over the weekend. So he has the story, a detailed story of something that happened earlier this summer that reinforces his Gicarri Harris breakout beliefs. Let's talk about it. The story is this. I'm going to read some excerpts from this and paraphrase as we go. If you want the full story, of course, go to Gold and Black on3.com. Support Brian Newbert and all the great work that he is doing. Isaiah Thompson, former Purdue player, is now a GA at Purdue. They were doing an open gym session where that day, for whatever reason, Isaiah Thompson and other GAs that were in the gym, opening the gym up for guys, decided, you know what, let's snake draft teams. And that led to Isaiah Thompson having the first pick, knowing that it was going to snake draft and go to the other GA for the next two picks. Isaiah Thompson does a very me move. He says, with the first overall pick in the Purdue Open Gym draft, give me Gicarri Harris. The other GA was like, okay, I'll take the two All-Americans. I'll take Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn. From there, we don't know what the rest of the team shook out as, but we know this. The reason that Jakari was taken first in that open gym draft was Thompson's own words. He said, I think this summer his confidence has been really high. He's embracing the challenge of guarding Braden. He's getting that mentality. He wants to guard the best people, play with confidence. I just thought that was a day he'd be at his best. He's been awesome this summer. The story goes from there that after they split teams and Braden and TKR were together on the other team, Gicarri Harris and Fletcher Lawyer, amongst others, were on the other side. And after an early lead for Braden and TKR, Gicarri reportedly challenged his group to respond, then took matters into his own hands. As Brian Newbert writes, quote, the best player on the floor, per one account at this open gym, Harris's team rallied to win the game. And as Jakari himself tells the story, as soon as that changed, we started locking in, getting stops, pushing it. I started making a few shots. Fletcher made a few shots, and we went on a nice little run. There's a lot more in this story that you can read if you subscribe and just follow and read the full article. I'll stop there. Jakari taken first in a draft, and then not only taken first, but he outplays two All-Americans and wins the open gym scrimmage. Raise your hand if you'd like to go first on this one, boys. We brought three people in. We brought in the big guns for this. Anybody want to go first?
You can go, Cart. Yeah, I'll go
Cart, go
first.
ahead and jump in. Cart, what do you think of this story?
Um, I mean, is it fair to say that I can be shocked that Jakari Harris was the best player on the floor with the talent that Purdue has at that spot? I am shocked that it occurred like that. I'm also like at this point too with Jakari Harris where, I do think that he's a good enough player that there probably is some days or moments. I think it's more so moments when he gets the best of somebody. And you can describe what the best of somebody might be. But I think that, Division One basketball players do get the better of each other in moments, certainly. But I don't think I've ever envisioned a world where in a full scrimmage setting that Jakari Harris would do such a thing.
I mean,
And no, go ahead.
no, sorry to interject, but part of the detail of this was he scored roughly 30 in a scrimmage against Braden and TKR and took over.
30 points.
Correct.
Man. I mean, it certainly happened. That's crazy that that happened.
Did it happen?
It had to. There's no way that we can't do that. It happened.
And we're just hearing about it now?
I think so.
We didn't hear about it when it happened a month ago. We the guy who's been propelling Jakari as this breakout starter didn't write it a month ago when it happened. He waited until now.
Flip side correlation. This team can't check Gicarri Harris. They're cooked.
That is a flip side correlation. Dion, go ahead. You've been patient.
I'm just glad I got to hear FC live and in person for the first time.
Special, right?
It's special. I'm
Yeah.
honestly, I've added it. I made a little note on my phone of it just so I can add it to my repertoire.
Classic.
Um,
Oh my god.
Here's my honest thoughts on it. You're playing a scrimmage. This was in August, it seems like. It was a little while ago, it sounds like, or was it recently? We don't know.
Sometime this summer, we have no idea.
Let's just to say, I'll say it was September. I'll do Jakari a favor and say it's summer Jakari. He did it towards the end, so it's in September. You're doing a scrimmage in September. It's a snake draft. You're choosing not to draft two All-Americans. Let me fill you in on why you would choose not to draft two All-Americans. Why would they care about the scrimmage against Gicarri Harris? That's why you draft Gicarri Harris. Because Gicarri Harris has to care about this scrimmage. He's fighting for his life right now. He has Omer Meyer pounding him. He has to care about this. By the way, not a lot of talk about Omer in this scrimmage. I'm curious where he got drafted at. Very curious
He
about
might have
that.
not been there yet. We don't know when this
Could we
started.
get the full draft results? That's one of my questions. Like hypothetically, let's just say this is like me versus Carter in a snake draft. Although more accurately, it's Carter versus me because Carter would be the only person on our platform stupid enough to draft Jakari Harris over Braden Smith and TKR. So let's just hypothetically say that Carter drafts Jakari. I draft the two All
All right,
Americans that are
no,
clearly.
actually, no. This feels like a good point to interject. Have a little bit of respect. I know I'm not the greatest drafter in the world, but I can tell you one thing. I can come on here a bottle of Jack and 9 beers deep. I ain't picking Jakari Harris first when I got the options I got.
Like, who is next, do we think? When it got back around to Isaiah, who
Bro,
is
there's a
clearly.
world where he goes undrafted in my book.
Do we think Isaiah took Jack Benter second and then like Liam Murphy third? Was Liam healthy at this point? Riley Burgess third?
I think I mean, I think he took Fletch, right? Like based off the quotes, like he had to take Fletch on the turnaround and then probably Antoine West because Antoine West, another guy, has to try in August scrimmages because he might not play in a few months.
All
So,
right.
of
So
course.
I think it's pretty clear at this point. Oh man, I should be careful. I really should, but I'm having such a difficult time with this. Cart, do you think we cover Purdue accurately? Honestly?
Yes, at least we tried to. And the funny thing is that I actually got the articles mixed up that we were going to talk about on this one. And I had a whole monologue kind of created in support of this because I do think that when certain people are in the gym, certain people see basketball different, right? Like I think that, you know, you can throw us three in a gym and I think for the most part we might have the same takeaways, but there's also some differences we would probably have on maybe what player we see, how we see their game. I think people see basketball differently, which is kind of where I thought this was kind of coming from with Newber. I feel like he's been in the gym, and in his opinion, he feels like Jakari Harris is the guy that should be in that spot. But like all of a sudden, Jakari Harris has his Wilt Chamberlain like 100 point game moment that no one has film on or maybe even saw. And did you see other people were letting the gym that day?
Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult. thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girls sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy. Love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more.
Or did he only let Brian Newbert in?
Oh, I don't know. It
Okay.
doesn't say. I mean well, actually I think it does say. Hold on. Let me go back to the article. I should know this already because I read this 17 times today just to make sure I have the accuracy here. Also, he called this a 1-2-1 selection format. Newbert, my guy, it's a snake draft. We call it a snake draft, okay? Let's see. Purdue, as you know, has 2 likely All-American seniors on his team, but Gicarri Harris had been playing so well leading into that. Like, it's killing me, man. I'm trying so hard to take this seriously. Where is there's one paragraph in this that says who was there, or it says like what the actual setting was, and I'm just scrolling through trying to find it, but I may just not see it right now. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of quotes from Harris about what this meant. I mean, clearly they're all acting like this was a real thing. Okay, a few weeks back, before Purdue's final informal open gym session, before preseason practice began, 2 grad assistant coaches were organizing an open gym, basically. And I think from context clues, Newbert was not in the gym for this. So he's getting the story secondhand. I hope I have that right. I might not. But yeah, safe to say, Carter, this was not like the media can see this.
But why would the media want to see this? For what for what it's worth.
Well,
like who
if Purdue's team was there, I for sure would want to see a Purdue open gym.
Okay, question for you, Cart. If you were TKR, would you try in a Purdue open gym?
Who's
Because
there?
you say yeah.
Who's there?
Uh, Gicarri Harris and CJ Cox.
There's a lot of people that aren't going to like this line of thinking. I'm not saying it doesn't have validation to it, but also, are we really implying that Braden and TKR aren't competitive and aren't going to go at all?
I'm not saying they're not like competitive or not going to go at all, but I just think like I mean we've all played sports. Like there were times when I was good on a team. In practice, you got a different version of me than when I was bad on a team and I had something to prove. I feel like Jakari Harris has a lot more to prove in this setting, and this isn't taken away from what he did because he went out there and proved everything he was trying to prove versus the guys that don't have a ton to prove in this
See,
setting.
I get that line of thinking, but I'm also the belief that at a certain point, there's a limit for everybody. Once Jakari got past 15, I need to set some things straight. That would
Okay,
be like the set it straight moment for me.
let me ask you one more because I agree with that. But one more question. Could you name the guys Jimmy Butler beat Cat and them with in that one practice?
No.
I that's my point on it. And if that's not taking anything away from like Braden, TKR, Jakari, or anything that happened in the scrimmage, 2 months from now, we're gonna remember Jakari Harris for if he balled out in the real games or not. Which
Here's
is
Okay,
where
so
I
very
what
draw the
about
hard.
here?
line.
Can I ask one last question on this? This is, I think, G, you're the person to ask this part.
I don't know why anyone's asking me. I have no idea what happened here. I still don't think this happened.
If this did happen, then why is there a discussion on who's starting at the other spot?
Well, if you ask Brian Newbert, who wrote this, there's not. He's the only person reporting that Gicarri Harris has won the spot and it's not up for debate. Everyone else seems to
Didn't Casey
dispute
say
that.
that Jakari won it too?
No, Casey disputes it. That's one of
Oh,
the biggest data points toward why I don't think this is real, is because other, again, Newbert is, I'm not denying that Newbert is like the go-to reporter on this, but like ask the Boilers in the stands guys, ask Bartley, ask anyone else that has had practice access. Have you seen this version of Jakari? They all say no. They all are willing to write publicly no. Like there are other reporters who cover this team day to day. None of them have seen this. And by the way, like you don't think it's a little convenient? The day that this happened, no one was there? Like
yeah,
seriously.
yeah.
Seriously, there's been a million times people with credentials have seen this team this summer. And no one except for Newbert has ever come away from a practice feeling this way. It's a crazy story. I'm sure, like, to be clear, I'm not denying that there was an open gym. I'm not denying that, like, even the part about the draft, like, let's be clear, it's an open gym. Probably Painter wasn't even there. Probably half the players weren't there. There were probably like GAs playing. It was just whoever wants to show up. Hey, I'm opening the gym today. Like I used to coach high school ball. If our head coach wasn't there, guess what me and the other assistant coach would do? Some dickhead draft. Like, oh, I'll take our role player and try and beat you. Like, that's something you do. Honestly, stock up Isaiah Thompson for like putting a chip on Jakari's shoulder and being like, let's go get one. And guess what? I'm sure Jakari played well. Car, honestly, if I could give a metaphor for this, I've been in a situation like this that you've been in. You know what I'm going to reference here?
Oh, your bachelor party.
This is my bachelor party.
Yeah.
This is me the night before my bachelor party, drunk, night before we're going to play basketball the next morning at my bachelor party. Because, yeah, I'm a hoops head. Never deny that I'm a hoops head. Hungover hoops was going to be a thing with my bachelor party at a park. And it did happen. And we're drunk off our ass the night before. And guess what? Like 4 of the members of my bachelor party were good hoopers. We had 2 college hoopers, a guy that was a really good high school hooper that was a GA on the Michigan State women's team. We had good hoopers. I said, give that team all the good hoopers. Because I'm Isaiah Thompson. I'm a dickhead. And I think me and my little high school friends who aren't good hoopers can take them. And guess what? We showed up to that shit the next morning, and Carter and Z Hirth and Jimmy Cotter are all hungover as hell, not taking this serious. And that's all I wanted because I'm a sicko. All I wanted was to be in a part being like, they don't want it the way I do. And I'm looking at Ben Luger and Andrew Robeson like, we can get them. And we got a 7-0 lead, and it was everything to me. I'll always have that moment where I look Z Hirth and Cart in the eyes like, you can't fuck with me right now. And then in the end, they stormed back because they were like, we can't actually lose to these idiots. And then they beat us. Like, I'm sure that's exactly what happened here. And again, that's fun and cool. It's fine. But like, I have such a problem with actually like writing this as if this is like the story of the offseason. He's been sitting on this for a month and hasn't reported it. Like, clearly he's decided to like sit on this as like, this is what I'm willing to stake everything on. And he might be right. If Newbert ends up right and Jakari's the starter in day one and he's awesome, we will all give him his flowers. He deserves it. But like, this is like a very intentional rollout of like hiding certain pieces of information to save it for a month before the season. And it just so happens to be something no one was able to see. It's all hearsay, but it reinforces my slant that I've been writing that no one else sees. Like, it's just narrative. It's all narrative driving on this. And I don't buy it. I know, Dion, you've come out and been like, I don't buy that Omer is behind these guys. That's your personal beliefs. My personal beliefs, I don't buy that Jakari's this good. I don't buy that Jakari gave 30 to Braden and TKR with no cameras on. I don't buy it. And if we're wrong, I'll eat the words. But like, I just don't buy it.
I feel like
can I go stock up Isaiah Thompson as well too?
For sure, because that's a dickhead move, and I love it.
That is I saw Braden pull up in his cyber truck, and I saw TKR walk here barefoot to connect with the earth, and I want to humble these guys. And I'm going to pick Gicarri Harris first.
Dion, anything else?
They probably played 200 some odd games this summer, like realistically. And we're hearing a story about one of them. That's my whole point. Is like they've been scrimmaging every day since April or May, and we're hearing about one of those scrimmages. And I'm not taking anything away from Jakari Harris, but we just don't know what was going on in that scrimmage. We don't know like what the intention of the scrimmage was. Like we don't know enough details to be like Jakari Harris took it to Braden Smith.
Yeah. If it's real, we're all screwed. Except for Newbert. He's not. Newbert deserves like a trophy at the end of this if this is all real.
Big Ten might be screwed.
I mean, simultaneously, Hoops HQ has Omer Meyer, the 83rd best player in the country. Jakari's giving Braden and TKR 30. CJ Cox had my point guard in hell last year, and Antoine West might start.
Antoine West isn't starting.
And Payne's a distinguished alumni.
And Payne's a distinguished alumni, man.
Who would Neil Armstrong start?
You know what? Cheers, Newbert. Like they didn't want me to call you GOAT anymore, and I'll honor that request. But the thing is, you are my GOAT. Like you are better at my favorite art form than I will ever be. And I mean that genuinely.